Jump back, everybody. Here are the three most ridiculous things about the movie Footloose. That stupid standing on two moving vehicles stunt. In Footloose, Laurie Singer plays Reverend Moore's rebellious daughter, Ariel. It's understandable that the directors and screenwriters would want to give Ariel a visually memorable way of expressing her irrepressible independence. I really get this is what they were aiming for, but if one is to portray wild teenage shenanigans, they should at least be plausible ones. Anyone dumb enough to try this would have been the subject of one of those special sad yearbook spreads a long time ago. The town's cartoonishly archaic power structure. It's weird that in a modern town, we can read the 1980s as modern, right? A single preacher in a town would wield as much influence as Reverend Moore apparently has. He's Beaumont's only working clergyman. He runs the town council, and the movie implies that his word is law. That's a ton of power for one guy. Even in my erstwhile hometown, Tooele, Utah, Mormon bishops didn't, as a rule, sit on the city council, much less preside over it. The two Mormon bishops I knew, my neighbor and my 9th grade English teacher, never struck me as especially powerful guys, though my neighbor did have enough juice to let me play on his temple's basketball court despite my non-Mormonism. And in every small town I've lived in outside of Utah, church influence was divided among several denominations that competed against each other and often sat on opposite sides of local controversies. If Footloose were taking place in rural Iran, Imam Moore might have total power, but here? Not in this century, or even in the last one. It should be noted that the real town on which Footloose is based did place a ban on dancing, not 5 years earlier as depicted in the film, but in the 1890s. When the students asked, via a politely worded letter, to have a prom, a preacher from a nearby town did raise a stink, but the school superintendent was non-committal to mildly supportive, and many local parents thought a chaperone dance would be fine. In the end, the school board said okay, and the dance went on. I've included a link for those wishing to read about the actual event. The story is devoid of book burnings, tractor chicken, or dance sequences set in what appear to be dance sequence factories. But here's the kicker where Footloose is concerned. Wren didn't need to convince the town council to change laws or do anything because the ban extended only to the city line. One of the things that happens when most things get banned in a particular area is that those activities move to places just outside the effective reach of the ban. So Footloose is on solid ground in economics, if not in storytelling, in making its plot solution to move the dance venue just outside the Beaumont city line. The question, though, isn't just why Wren didn't think of this earlier, but why no one else did either. Farm country was famously going through rough times in the 1980s, hence Farm Aid. Surely some farmer, disappointed in the price of sorghum, could have looked across the city line at all them poor kids aching to dance and thought, I wonder what it would take to wire up a sound system in my pole barn. Bet the local bank would have lent him money for it. The problem with this in story terms is that all the conflict that takes place in Footloose, all the drama with the pastor and the school bullies, all the tension over the town council meeting was pointless. If Wren wanted to hold a dance, he could have done in the beginning what he ended up doing in the end, going to a guy who had an available venue outside of town and setting it up. It would have been like Dorothy knowing from the beginning of The Wizard of Oz that all she has to do to get back to Kansas is to tap her heels together, but she stays in Oz and complains nonstop anyway. So those are the three most ridiculous aspects of Footloose. What wasn't ridiculous? Seeing a young Chris Penn learn how to dance.
Oh, maybe he's no Romeo, but he's my loving one-man show. Let's hear it for the boys. Let's hear it for my man. Let's hear it for my baby.
That was charming. And I miss his presence in movies. R.I.P. Chris. See you next time.